Alright, let's walk through the SUMIFS formula within Excel. We're going to walk through several different examples in hopes to give you a better understanding of how we can use this formula. So as you can see within the spreadsheet, I have a data table over here. So we're going to be using this for all these different examples. We're going to first walk through just summing by the salesman, and then we're going to break it out by the year and the colors. And then lastly, we're going to do an example where we're summing based off the year, the salesman, as well as the color. So let's start out simply here with just the salesman. So we want the sum of the amount based off the salesman within these rows. So to do this, we're going to start out with equals SUMIFS open parenthesis. From here, we're always going to be, the first column we select is what we want to sum. So we're going to select the amount column, and then we're going to do a comma here. And as you can see here, we have multiple different criteria ranges. So the first one, we're just going to use one criteria range. So we're just going to be using the criteria range 1 and the criteria itself. And the below examples, we're going to be using more. So first one's first, we're just going to select the salesman. So we're saying select this sum the amount field if the salesman is equal to the salesman over here. Close this up and hit enter and pull these rows down. And now we have the sum of the amount based off the salesman. Now let's walk through a different example. Let's walk through summing the amount based off this year as well as the color. So let's get this one started. So once again, equals SUMIFS open parenthesis. Once again, we're going to be summing the amount. So we'll put a comma then. And now let's first off start with the year. So we're going to select this year column, comma, and select the year value itself. What we can also do is we're going to have to use absolute references because we're going to be pulling this formula over these multiple different columns and rows. So typically when you pull a formula, it's going to, if you're referenced on, set column A, once you pull it over, it's going to then go to column B, column C, so on. So we need to lock these actual columns themselves. So to do this, all you have to do is just insert a $sign. So what we're pretty much saying is we want to always be summing K for the amount. Once again here, column I is always going to be the year. And then lastly, we just want to lock the column over here, not necessarily the row, because when we drag it down, we want it to go from row 11 to row 12. So we'll leave that open. Now we need to do the color. So then we're going to do another comma. We'll select our color column. We'll lock our color column again with these $signs. And then now what we can do is we can select the color itself up here. So once again, as you can see, this is going to be row C. So we don't want the column to lock, we just want the row to lock. So we're just going to lock the row. We'll close that off and hit enter. And now what we can do is we can drag this column across as well as down, and it will bring that formula across. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is when I'm in this very first cell C11, everything's locked on red and year 2023. Now if I go down here, down one row, 2 columns to the right, you'll notice the locks. These are the $signs, so we're locking on either the column or the row. So keep that in mind. Let's do another example now. So we're going to pretty much just add another criteria to this. So once again, we're going to say equals SUMIFS open up. So this is by the name, the color, and the year. So we're saying SUMIFS. Once again, column here. Let's lock that down with our $signs. Next up, we're going to do the year. So we'll select the year, comma, the year over here. Once again, we're going to be locking these cells down. So $sign, and then once again in this, we're just locking the column, not the row. Alright, so now we have the year set up. Let's now set up the color. So select the color column. Let's lock that with our $signs. And we can now select our color again. Once again here, we want to lock the row, not the column. And lastly, we'll do the salesman. So we'll do the salesman, comma, select our salesman. Let's lock down our source. And we're just going to lock down the column itself here. Alright, so one trick we can do is we can just look at here, see the sum is 463. If we look over here, you can see the sum is 463. That's just a quick check to make sure we have everything set up properly. So anyways, that's just a couple quick examples of how we can use the SUMIFS. Hope this helps, and in the comments put in anything that you're having trouble with your SUMIFS if you need an example of a different video. Thanks for watching.